Speak to Matthew Schmidt, Director of the International Affairs Programme at the University of New Haven in Connecticut and former Professor of Strategic Planning at the US Army Command. Thanks so much for coming on the programme.
My pleasure, Lewis.
So we've just heard a rough outline there of the situation in Bakhmut. What's your assessment of what's going on there?
My assessment is that we have to keep in mind that, like your correspondent said, this would be the first victory in 6 months. If you look at everything else that was said in that excellent segment, what you find is that this, not yet victory, but possible victory is a huge symbolic success for Russia, but not necessarily a critical military success. And that's really the key takeaway here.
And what do we learn from the tactics being used by Russia here?
That's an excellent question. And what we know is that the Russians have been, trying to take Bakhmut for weeks, for months, and they've essentially been using human wave attacks. They have had an enormous casualty rate. And this is, in a sense, why even if Ukraine loses the territory of the town, they're winning because they are out attriting the Russian troops, right? Ukraine is fighting there for a longer-term objective. They're trying to kill more Russians than they're losing on their own side. They're trying to force the Russians to expend ammunition at extremely high rates and to lose equipment. And all three of those objectives on the Ukrainian side have been met. So whatever happens on the map, when you color in a new section of the map, pink or red for Russia, those other three variables remain on the Ukrainian side.
Interesting. Matthew, I believe you've recently been to the country. Let's look a bit longer term. What's the feeling there on the ground about how long this lasts?
So nearly everyone we spoke with thinks that the war is going to last at least another year, and they are sort of preparing themselves for a much longer war. The morale in the country is extraordinary. President Biden's visit was seen as a kind of early victory, right? It was seen as a signal that Ukraine was fully accepted into the Western orbit, fully accepted as a democracy, right? And that they could trust that the United States, the leader of the West, was going to be there for them throughout the length of this war.
Fascinating insight. Matthew Schmidt, thank you very much for coming on the programme. Thank you.